Hey guys, welcome to the Punk Rock Condition, where we explore, discover, and appreciate all things punk rock. If that interests you, please subscribe. Here on today's episode, we're doing episode 14 of First Time Reactions because Pulley has dropped a new track called Torn Apart by Time. And if anybody was paying attention, I did throw up a short the other day, letting you guys know that it was out and that it was up. But I just like Pulley too much. I want to dive in a little bit more here. So what I did was I wrote all the lyrics down. Listened to the song, wrote all the lyrics down. So let's go through the tune and just dissect it a little bit and appreciate it before it's out and before it's up on all the streaming services, which is where it belongs. Maybe you get a little sneak peek here, a little deeper dive into a really good song by one of my all-time favorites, and talk about, you know, the execution of the song and maybe what Scott was getting at with his message here with this song. So yeah, let's give it a spin here. Pulley, Torn Apart by Time, off their upcoming Split with Fire sale called Split Personality. You are up. Okay, so great little typical Pulley intro there, and then you got the bass guitar running all the way up to bring us into this verse. Here we go.
Been waiting for so long to do what it is we do, keeping our eyes to the ground, kicking down the dark side of it, fighting our way through, finding this out on our own.
We've been waiting for so long to do what it is we do, keeping our eyes to the ground, kicking down the dark side of them, fighting our way through, find this all out on our own. So he's thinking back. He's thinking back to, I think, what he wanted to do originally, like taking a look back at probably his life, but more so like the music part of it, and being in a band and spreading your message and saying what it is you have to say, waiting so long to do it, and finding all these things out on your own first time around.
We know what it's like to be alone. There's so much more to take in when you listen to these sounds. Torn apart by time, this story goes.
And there's the bass, like crescendoing again. But we know what it's like to be alone. And there's so much more to take in when you listen to these sounds. Torn apart by time, this story goes. He's talking about his relationship with music, I believe there. So much more to take in when you listen to these sounds. And he knows what it's like to be alone. Torn apart by time, this story goes. He says something different the next time around. But he's just talking about what the passage of time kind of does to you, I think. I love it, man. I love it.
Some 30 years ago from now, we had not much to say, keeping our eyes to the ground.
So now he is talking about 30 years ago. He kept his eyes to the ground then too. It's kind of just staying like singularly focused and on what you can see and what you can control.
Kept it real, what we thought was real enough to us, doing this all on our own.
Keeping it real, or at least what we thought was real to us, doing it all on our own. And then the first verse, it was finding this out on our own. And now it's do this all on our own. But definitely looking back, the passage of time, and thinking about how he kept it real, or as best that he could. He's keeping it real, at least what he thought was.
We know what it's like to be alone. There's so much more to take in when you listen to these sounds. The music never stops, it always goes.
So right there, instead of saying torn apart by time this story goes, which he said in the first pre-chorus, this time he's saying music never stops, it always goes. So he's definitely talking about music. Let me back it up just a little bit.
We've wanted to get out of this, at least what we put in. Torn apart by time is what we know.
All right, so now we get into the best part of the song right here. But yeah, you see how he switched it up a little bit the second time around and says music never stops, it always goes. We wanted to get out of this at least what we put in. Torn apart by time is what we know. So it's just like time did what time did. And here we are. And what's the ride been like? What has music represented for us? What did we set out to do and what have we done? One thing's for sure, time has separated these things. No getting around that. So now we get kind of to this, we get to a little bridge here. And it's when he really does the wonderful Scott Radinsky, super melodic, like emotional moment that I fucking love more than anything when he does this. And so right here, we'll get the little bridge section, we'll talk about it, and then it's just an outro.
Time is what we know. Find another way, better way. Had to find another way, better way to heal.
So what does he mean by that? Had to find a better way, another way, a better way. Had to find another way, a better way to heal. What exactly does he mean by that? I don't know. It's a general statement about maybe the things he thought would be helping and healing to him. As all these 30 years have gone by, they're not the same anymore. Who knows? It's really an interesting, beautiful little sentiment there by Scott. That after all that he had to say there, that he ultimately had to find a better way to heal. Let's listen to it again and then just rock it out.
Find another way, better way. Had to find another way, better way to heal.
So yeah, is that PRC certified? Of course, I fucking loved it. You know, that is vintage Pulley in my eyes. And the bassist really showed off a good bit there. The rest of it is pretty standard, straightforward Pulley. But I'm looking forward to hearing the other song. And the quote that he had about this song was, as life passes by, there are always distractions. Keep the commitment to how things started out and have the perseverance to stand with longevity. Make time to sit back and listen to the music. All right, Scott. Got you, buddy. I love it. Can't wait for the next song. And let's not overlook Fire Sale. Fire Sale's really good, too. Pretty cool little super group. If you've never listened to some of their songs, they got some good stuff. So looking forward to the whole thing all around. But yeah, episode 14, first time reactions. A little stretch on the first time, but that's all right. Pulley, Torn Apart by Time. Great song. See you guys on the next one.
Not afraid to be mistaken, not afraid to try, not afraid to be uncertain, not afraid to